Hi, this is a tutorial on how to create the effect of different elements scrolling in a parallax manner. So you can see this orange rectangle is scrolling slower than the background and slower than the teal. And the teal one is scrolling a little bit slower than the background. So they're all scrolling at different speeds. So let's take a look at the code. It's the HTML is very basic. I've got a container, and that container has the background image in it. And then I've got box 1 and box 2. And in the CSS, you can see here, I've got background image for the container. I've given it a height of 300 VH so that I did that so that it's scrollable. So it's, taller than the screen, and the position relative. So with box 1 and box 2, I've positioned them absolute. I've given them a width and a height, position them absolute. So box 1, which is the orange one, it's 200 pixels from the top, and it's stuck to the right side. The teal one is 450 pixels from the top. Okay, so that's basically it. Really simple CSS. So let's take a look at the JavaScript. Basically on here, we have a function here called Parallax that gets called when the window is being scrolled. So all of this code happens while the window is scrolling. We've got a variable called wscroll, which is the window scroll. So it's keeping track of how far from the top the window is, how far away the window has gone from the top. And then we've got some code here that controls for the 2 elements. So box 1 is the orange one. And all you would have to do to use this is put in the class name with the dots, with the period, put in the class name of the element that you want to move. And then there are 2 numbers here that you want to play with. Leave everything else alone. 200, remember in the CSS that the first one was 200 away from the top. So we start with that number, and then the 0.7 is the speed at which we want it to go. So you can play with that number right there. So use this for the position that you have it set at with your positioning property. And then this number right here, you can mess around with just to see how fast or slow you want it to go. So 0.7 goes a lot slower than the second one here, box 2 is a 0.2. It goes a lot faster. But they're still both scrolling up and scrolling down. So all you want to mess around with here is the class name, the position you're starting at, and then the speed right here. And you can copy and paste this as many times as you want, add as many elements as you want to move around on the screen. So this is using the jQuery library. So I recommend exporting this code pen and starting from there because it's if you export it, it'll have the link to the jQuery library. Otherwise, you've got to include that yourself, which isn't hard to do. You can do that. But it's probably easier to export this and just swap out your content for this content. Remember, when you export something from CodePen, you want to use the dist folder. DIST stands for distribution, not the source SRC. You want to use the dist folder, and that'll give you what you're looking for. So I hope this explains it pretty well. And good luck.